It's the show that's moving fast. It's called the Captain and the Real Deal podcast with our brother Top Gun, our flight engineer. We're talking Vikings and Hawks, man, the tip of the spear, because we float past clowns with the greatest of ease. They just buckle down to their knees with the grip of a pit bull locked on the mic. We'll be tearing it up night after night. I'm Captain Luke, an operator. I could never be a faker, and I'm serving you lyrics better than a damn waiter. Rhyming on this microphone, and I just never am alone with Big Gold and Top Gun. You know we full grown. Can you hear my tone? I'm in the podcast zone, giving you a taste of my microphone. The homie by my side, he will make you glide. So Big Gold, slice and dice and bring this party inside. Cut it up, B Gold. We get the call with the ball and we're ready to maul. There's no competition, we will never fall. Ball could be in the air or for that 9 route. I shake and bake at the line of scrimmage and I'm out. And off to the house with 6 more for the squad, generating the speed of a NASCAR hot rod. On arrival, the 12s go mad. The opposition got the Emerald Nation is glad. So brace yourself for the show that's the most. While B Gold is spinning, I'm one of your hosts. We also got the Real Deal who makes his cameo with unfiltered thoughts that'll jam you, bro. And our technician, aka Top Gun, he'll test his skills for fun, and he's never on the run. I'm Captain Fook, unfadable, just like the Real Deal. The bigger the headache, the bigger the pill. That's a shout out to the homie George Clinton, the masters of the funk, yo. That's my opinion. So in 2022, and it's season 2, Captain Fook and the Real Deal are ready for you. If you're ready for us, there's no time to discuss. It's about that action, y'all. So get your butt on the bus, because the Captain and the Real Deal are ready to go. And if you are too, then let's start the show, because it's the Captain and the Real Deal podcast. What's it called? It's called the Captain and the Real Deal podcast. All right, then let's start the show.
Skolgers, 12s, and all you football fanatics. Welcome to another episode of the Captain and the Real Deal podcast. On today's episode, them guys will bring you all the latest news and information for their respective teams, the Seattle Seahawks and the Minnesota Vikings.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Damen und Herren, it's time for the podcast featuring Captain Fook and Billy Gold, aka The Real Deal. This is the only place that's talking Hawks and Kings, but to be specific, we're talking Seattle Seahawks and Minnesota Vikings. So strap up. We're taking you on a fantastic voyage, unlike any you've ever been on, so sit back and get ready to set sail to the emerald-rich lands of the Seattle Seahawks and the treasure-filled valleys of the Minnesota Vikings, with your hosts, Captain Fook and Billy Gold, aka The Real Deal. Let's get it.
Football fans, 12s, and the Skolgers, welcome to the Skol line edition of the Captain and the Real Deal podcast. Captain Fook has a bye week, but the show must go on. So he's trying to make it. We're not sure he's going to get here. I'm Billy Gold, along with the Maverick, my production engineer, Mike Top Gun Cruz. We have a unique episode in store for you today, so I suggest you fill up your solo cup. I got mine right here. Sit yourself back and get ready, as we usually do, for another fantastic voyage. Hey, Cap, you ready to roll?
Captain.
Whoa! It's not the get to you today. We will get you picks and everything. Thanks for joining us. All right, let's get the show started. Let's start out with some bulletin board material. Jalen Reagor, Vikings wide receiver, who was drafted by the Eagles, the wide receiver chosen right before J.J. Justin Jefferson, Mr. Dynamite. He's now the punt returner for the Vikings. We acquired him in a trade as the Eagles gave up on him. Dude, you're not even a full-time player, but you guarantee a victory against the Lions? What are you thinking? Obviously, you were not. You think that wasn't posted in the locker room of the Lions? Wake up, dude, or we're going to cut you. All right, let's get to the Vikings recap against the Lions. You know, there you go. On last week's show, I knew this was going to be a tough game, and, you know, I did see a way for the Lions to pull this out. In my picks, I did take the Vikings. You know, I'm kind of got the Captain Vuk mentality, trying to always pick your home team. But I did say this was a setup game. Anyway, the Lions start on their 21-yard line. They do what the Vikings usually do, 3 and out, and they punt. Vikings get the ball at their 22-yard line. The drive, it stalls at the 41-yard line. There's offsides on the punt. So the Vikings are down to a 4th and 1, and they decide, let's take a chance early in the game and go for it. They get stopped, and the Lions take over on downs. There was no need to gamble this early on your own side of the field. Anyway, Lions get the ball on the Vikings' 46-yard line, and they strike quickly with a 41-yard TD pass, 7-0 Lions. Kickoff to the Vikings, to the end zone. Vikings take it at the 25-yard line, and they respond with a 10-play, 75-yard drive, capped off with a 1-yard TD run from Dalvin Cook, 7-7. Greg Joseph actually made the extra point. Yes! All right, Lions get the ball after a touchback on their 25-yard line, and they drive all the way down to the Vikings' 39-yard line, and they go for it on 4th down. And like the Vikings, they are stopped. So the Vikings get the ball back on downs, start at their 39-yard line, and they're moving the ball. And then on a 3rd and 9, the ex-Lion, T.J. Hawkinson, who's been really good for us since we got him, he drops the pass on the sideline. We were moving. We were on a drive. We would have went up 14-7, or at least 10-7, but he stalled the drive, and we got a punt. So Lions get the ball back on their 13-yard line, and they move all the way down to the Vikings' 40-yard line. Again, the bend but don't break philosophy. So far, we're doing okay. By the way, the Vikings are playing the run pretty good, and the Lions have a pretty good run game so far. They get to the Vikings' 40-yard line, and this time they decide to punt. Vikings pinned inside their 10, inside their 20, starting at their 10. You know, very conservative, and of course, like I say at least 2 or 3 times a week, 3 and out, and we have to punt. Lions, they return the punt to the Vikings' 48-yard line, and after that, they strike quick again with a 48-yard TD pass. I'll talk more about those 2 long passes later. 14-7 Lions. After the touchback, Vikings start again on their 25-yard line. They drive all the way down the field, but Dalvin Cook fumbles on the Lions' 3-yard line, and the ball is returned to the Vikings' 21-yard line. Turns out this was a gadget play where Cook was supposed to throw a jump pass to our blocking tight end Johnny Munds, but the ball was exposed, and the Lions took advantage of it. Lions get the ball back, again move down the field, but they miss a 47-yard field goal, and that ends the half. I'm not feeling bad. It should be 14-14. Why are we doing gadget plays? I don't know. Just we already ran a 1-yard touchdown run the ball. You know, dude, no gadget plays once in a while. Second half, Vikings defer in the first half. They get the kickoff after the touchback start at the 25-yard line, and here's the second 3 and out of the game, and we got a punt. Lions, they get it on their 24-yard line. The defense steps up, and the Lions go 3 and out. But wait! It's a fake punt. And the Vikings, they were overloaded on one side, and of course the Lions ran to the other side. The ball is all the way down on the Vikings' 47-yard line, and the Lions finish off the drive with a 5-yard TD pass. They go up 21-7. What a momentum switch right there. I saw after watching the replay, we were so overloaded on the other side, anybody could have went to the right side and got a first down. They might not have got 25 or 30 yards, but they would have got the 6 or 7 they needed. Vikings get the ball back after another touchback at the 25-yard line. They go for it on 4th down, all the way on the other Lions side of the field, and Cousins hits Adam Thielen for a 23-yard TD pass to get back in the game. But for whatever reason, Coach O'Connell decides to go for 2. You're down 21-7. You got a touchdown. It's 21-13. Why are you going for 2? They don't get it. So it's 21-13. Lions. Lions get the ball back. And what do? Starting at the 25-yard line, they go on a 75-yard TD drive. It's 28-13. Lions. You know what? I'm still not giving up. We got time. We got players. We got a chance. Vikings start again on the 25-yard line, which pretty much every NFL team does now. Not a lot of kick returns. There's a big play to Cousins, to JJ, for 47 yards, but the drive stalls after that, and we got to settle for a 41-yard field goal, 28-16, down by 12, still 2 scores, and when I say 2 scores, 2 touchdowns. Lions get the ball back at their 25-yard line. The drive stalls at the Vikings' 23-yard line, and they settle for a 41-yard field goal. They go up 31-16, which actually makes it still only a 2-score game. 2 touchdowns with 2 two-point conversions. Actually, no, that's wrong. They need 3 scores at this point. 31-16, you need 15 points, so they need 3 scores. Vikings start on their 25-yard line, and they go quickly. Pick the tempo up. They get a big play to JJ. And they cap off a 70-yard TD drive with a Cousins to KJ Osborne 15-yard pass to make it 31-23. So I was right when I first said it was still only a 2-score game where you need 8 points each time. Onside kick fails, and the Lions start on the Vikings' 44-yard line, and they get a field goal to seal the victory, 34-23. I'm not sure we needed to do an onside kick there, so let's get to some final thoughts. Some key injuries going into this game, or at least, erring on the side of caution. No safety, Harrison Smith. He calls all the plays on defense from the secondary position. No left tackle, second-rated left tackle in the league this year, Christian Darrisaw. And our center, Garrett Bradbury, who's a very good run blocker, needs to improve on pass blocking, also was sidelined. So I'm thinking no problem, right? No, it was a big problem. Harrison Smith was the biggest loss, as his backup, Josh Metellus, was exposed throughout the day. The running game was non-existent. Coach O'Connell made some rookie coaching mistakes. JJ should have had a 70-yard TD reception. Top Gun, I showed you that one late in the 4th quarter. But the whistle blew. He never stepped out of bounds. That should have been a touchdown. That would have saved us a couple more minutes, and we wouldn't have had to try the onside kick. The only game ball, and I usually don't give them out in losses, but Justin Jefferson has just set a new Vikings single-game yardage record of 223 yards, passing Sammy White, the legend, and it should have had an extra 25 yards and an additional TD if the referees didn't stop the play and didn't blow the whistle. He would have had those extra yards and the TD. So let's get a Skol horn. Thank you. Let's get on with it. Let's get to the new segment, By the Numbers. I think we only got the Vikings edition this week. Captain Vuk can catch up on the next episode. But let's do number 15 and the Vikings who have worn number 15. There was a total of 9 Vikings to wear the number 15. And the list is not good. John McCormick, don't know him. Ron Vander Kellen, sounds like he should be in a Star Wars movie. Gary Kuzo, 1968 to 1971, career backup QB who started with the Vikings in 1970 after Joe Kapp left after the Super Bowl year. He led the Vikings to the best record in the NFL, 12-2. After that year, he returned to being a backup, because Fran Tarkenton returned from the Giants in 1971. Martin Nance, don't nobody. Greg Jennings, former Packer, you're already eliminated. Isaac Fruch, he was a wide receiver, didn't do much. Brandon Zylstra didn't do much. Actually, he's on the Lions squad right now. And Alexander Hollins, I think he's out of football. So not a lot of talent here. So Gary Kuzo, because he led at that time the NFL's best record of 12-2. Gary Kuzo gets the number 15 for the Minnesota Vikings. All right, this segues us into some fun facts. So let's get ready with the Skol horn and the other sound effect we always use. So let's get to fun fact number 1.
I know you're gonna dig this.
Information alert. Be Gold and The Real Deal are traveling to US Bank Stadium for the game this Saturday and have secured 40-yard line seats in the Polaris Club section. Fun fact number 2.
I know you're gonna dig this.
The first event we will be attending will be on Friday night, remembering the Miracle at the Met. In case you don't know about the Miracle at the Met, I'm going to give you some information now, and I'm going to give you some later. The game occurred on December 14th, 1980. The Vikings trailed 23-9 with just over 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. And I showed Top Gun the video this week. It was grainy video, but it was great video. They finished off the improbable comeback when Ahmad Rashad, who, by the way, is in one of our songs that we do, grabbed a Hail Mary pass out of the sky from QB Tommy Kramer for a touchdown, defeating the 10-4 Cleveland Browns at Metropolitan Stadium, which now where the Mall of America is, 28-23. And the reason I bring that up, thank you, but I didn't even finish it, but that's fine. You can do one at the end too. So we'll talk more about the Mall of America, where the old Met Stadium was. The play was called Squadron Right. Cap would appreciate that. Prior to that play, the Vikings pulled off the unthinkable. And again, show Top Gun this one. The hook and lateral play. Oh, that was the first play. The drive was 2 plays, 80 yards in 14 seconds with no timeouts available. Kramer that day passed for an unthinkable 456 yards with 4 touchdowns and no interception. This win clinched the NFC Central Division title. Thank you. Fun fact number 3.
I know you're gonna dig this.
During this upcoming event on Friday night, the Miracle at the Met, Be Gold and The Real Deal have secured a one-on-one with legendary Vikings coach Bud Grant. The plan is to get Bud to sign the Fran Tarkenton football on the opposite side where I just happen to have an open space. Those guys went to battle for years and years and years. I think it's the place where that signature needs to go. As you can see during this episode, we are locked in on Bud because that's who we're going to see Friday night. And if after he talks to me, I'll be in his suite on Saturday and I'll give up the Polaris Club. That wasn't a fun fact, but I said it anyway. All right, not so fun fact number 1. 5th straight game this year where the Vikings defense has given up over 400 plus yards. That's not a good stat. Okay, next up. No ridiculous article this week. Both had losses, so there's no taking it to the house. No breaking news this week. So we're going to move on to the Real Deal Rant of the Week. Enough about the Lions. Yes, they won. And they deserved it. But let's take a closer look. These talking heads on TV are clueless. Let me say that again. They are clueless. They rely on replays and rarely follow that up with what transpired earlier or later in the game. All right, why does Coach O'Connell go for a 2-point conversion so early in the game? Somebody, please explain that to me. Somebody. Isn't the Vikings defense awful? Yes, they are awful. The bend and break philosophy, you need turnovers. So far, we're 10-3. But it's not going to work in the playoffs. So after looking at the coaches underneath them, there's 2 former defensive coordinators under Ed Donatel on our staff. If he's not the guy, get him out of here. Ship him out. I don't need him. I'll drive him to the train station. Get him out. Like I said last week, this was the Lions' Super Bowl to date. I said it on the last episode. Of course it was their Super Bowl. But you have to understand, in division rivalries, rarely does two teams win both games. Does a team win both games? Rarely. I am glad to see that the Lions are relevant again. I really am. I love their direction. Their coach is fun. But let's be honest. This game came down to a few key plays like most NFL games do. So let's review them. If TJ Hawkinson doesn't drop a pass early, the Vikings drive continues. Kirk Cousins at that point was dissecting the Lions as he did all day when pass plays were dialed up, even with two backups starting on the offensive line. If Coach O'Connell doesn't try to get cute at the Vikings, at the 3-yard line of the Lions with a gadget play, trying to have Cook throw a jump pass, the game is tied. If the referees keep the play alive late in the game and JJ, who never stepped out of bounds, is credited with a touchdown, we got an extra 2 to 3 minutes on the clock to get a stop. He was never out of bounds. Also, now that the league saw a fake punt by the Lions, what are the chances it works again for them? Nothing. It's not going to work again. You're right. You got tape. I'm out. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to other game notes. Oh, goodness. Boy, I had a lot for that one. On defense, Harrison Smith, neck injury, was held out as precaution to get healthy. Had this been a playoff game, he would have played. 2 long touchdowns. 146 and 141. They would have never occurred with Harrison Smith on the field. As his replacement, Josh Metellus, was clearly indecisive and overmatched. You agree? I know you do. All right. The Vikings also were cautious with their 2 offensive linemen who sat out. But they would have played if it was a playoff game. Blindside protection, left tackle, and the center, the guy, our signal caller, both were out. We had backups. Of course you're going to have a drop in play. No excuses. Lions won, but let's not make the Lions like the next coming of the greatest thing since sliced bread. Let's not do that. Okay, it's time to move on to outside the box with the real deal. Today, let me get a little sip out of here in a solo cup. Keep this going here. We're going to talk a little bit more about the Miracle of the Met agenda. 5:30 to 6:30 on Friday night. I'll be there along with the real deal. It's social hour. From 6:30 to 7:30, it's a program with the players. There's going to be some Q&A. There's going to be some player and celebrity interviews. And then from 7:30 to 9, autograph and social hour. During the social hour, there is going to be food provided to us. So looking forward to, it's probably going to be like like bar food, football food, wings, hot dogs, burgers, stuff like that. It's good. I'm okay with that. The Vikings, who are slated to attend, Ahmad Rashad, Carl Eller, Bud Grant, Tommy Kramer, Leo Lewis, Stu Voigt, Paul Krause, Carl Lee, Sammy White, Keith Millard, Chuck Foreman, Nate Wright, Scott Studwell, and of course the celebrity Jesse, who I've killed on this show, the Body Ventura, and we always welcome the Minnesota Viking cheerleaders. That's who's going to be at the event. They're still going to try and add a few more. That's a pretty good lineup. I'm going to be pumped to be there, and I'm really looking forward to sitting down with Bud Grant. All right, let's move on to the Vikings Week 15 preview against the Colts, which is the game I'm going to. Indianapolis Colts lead the series 18-7-1. I could use the Caps take on things where we've never lost to the Indianapolis Colts, but we've lost to the Baltimore Colts. So, I'm going to go with what the record says it is, because you are what the record says you are. And right now it's 18-7-1. Okay, before we get to the rest of the picks, let's recap where we stand right now. Real deal, 10-2-1. Cap, 10-2-1. Cap still down 5 games. Yearly totals, real deal, 118-59-2. Cap, 113-64-2. We're doing very well this year. So let's get to the picks.
Yo, it's time for the picks, the weekly predictions by them guys. Get your notebooks out because they rarely miss. Make way for Captain Book when he makes his picks. You can't touch this dude. Reppin' Hawks in the Emerald Nation. All units, battle stations. So welcome to the battle zone. It's a place where Captain Book is never alone. With his guide, he goes by his side. Sporting purple, always ready to ride. A real Viking maniac. Never afraid to go on the attack. And when needed, in comes the real deal. He's got a real feel for NFL skills. So listen close and get the word. Don't be the one who hadn't heard about Captain Book and Blue Gold. Dropping knowledge, truth be told. Pico picks, battle tested.
All right, we're in the picks segment. So we got a Thursday night game tomorrow. Cap's interested in this one. 49ers head to Lumen Field to battle the Seahawks, who are reeling and need a victory. Listen, I want the Seahawks. I'll be rooting for the Seahawks because I want to hang on to that number 2 seed. But I think the 49ers win 23-16. Cap, he got his pick. Send it to us. He's got Seahawks 27, 49ers 20. So he's got the Seahawks winning. Let's move on to the Saturday first game. Colts headed to US Bank Stadium against the Vikes. I'll be there. I got the Vikes winning the game and clinching the division. I don't think it's going to be easy. Colts can run the ball. Pretty solid offensive line. Pretty good defense. You know, they have their deficiencies. I think we get back on track here. Of course, I'll be sitting on the edge of my seat, but I see the Vikings winning 31-23 and clinching the division. Cat, he's got Vikings 31, Colts 17, so he also sees Minnesota sealing the deal for their division. All right, let's move on to the 4 o'clock game on Saturday. Baltimore at Cleveland. I got the Browns winning 23-16. I think Deshaun Watson was rusty. Baltimore, no Lamar Jackson. We shall see. I got the Browns winning 23-16. Cap's got Baltimore at Cleveland. Cap's got the Seahawks winning. Oh, no. Oh, he always has the Seahawks winning. Yeah, Cap's got Baltimore 20, Cleveland 10. Let's move on to the final game for Saturday. Miami at Buffalo. I got Buffalo winning 27-20. Cap, he's got the Seahawks winning. Oh, no, wrong. That was the other. Seahawks always win. He's got Buffalo holding on to a tight game, 24-21. Cap, every game you picked, you got the Seahawks winning. They're not even playing, dude. Let's get to Sunday. I'm going to overlook your comments, Cap. I got Atlanta at the Saints. Saints hold on 23-20. Cap's got Saints holding on 21-20. So we got that one pretty much locked down. Pittsburgh at Carolina. Panthers fire their coach, trade their quarterback. They keep winning 24-17. Wow, you can't make that stuff up. Let's see what the Cap's got. He's got Pittsburgh at Carolina. He's got Carolina also winning 21-17. Obviously, Cap did not take the schedule I sent him, so I'm going to have to jump around here. Thanks, Cap. Oh, boy, I'm going to get you on that one. Next game, Philly at Chicago. I got the Eagles crushing the Bears, 34-13. Cap's got them. Eagles winning 34-17. Let's move on to the next game, KC at Houston. Chiefs. Houston's been tough lately, but they don't have enough to handle the Chiefs. Chiefs went on the road 30-20. But look at the Cap. He's got Chiefs winning 31-3. Wow, he's got a beatdown going on. Next game, Dallas at Jacksonville. Cowboys win on the road 24-17. Jacksonville's been pretty good, so they're gonna hang in there. Cap doesn't see it that way. He's got the Cowpokes with 49 and Jacksonville 17. Jacksonville's defense is not that bad, Cap. You're gonna regret saying 49 put up on them. That's going up on the lot. That's going up on their locker room. What do we got next? We got Detroit at the Jets. This is going to be a really good game. But the Jets are a little, we don't know who they're going to play quarterbacks. I got the Lions winning again on the road, 24-16. He's got the Jets winning. He's got the Jets beating the Lions 24-17. I'd like to see that, Cap. I'm rooting for the Jets, but I think the Lions got something going here. They're not going to get to the playoffs. They have to win every game, and there's a lot of things that have to happen. But all right, next game, Arizona at Denver. I don't know. This starts at 4 o'clock. I don't know who's playing quarterback for any of these teams. I got the Cardinals winning 16-13. What say you, Cap? You say Arizona wins 24-3, so hating on Russ. Still hating on Russ. He might not play, by the way. Next up, Pats at the Raiders. I got the Pats winning on the road 20-17. You got the Pats winning on the road 21-17, so pretty close on that. Chargers taking on the Titans. Chargers, like I said, still starting to hit their stride. They win 23-17. Cap has the Chargers losing to Tennessee 28-24. He's trying to make up a little ground on me. Next game up, we got Cincinnati at Tampa. Bengals are going to make short work of old man, crusty old Tom Brady, 27-16. Cap's got the same thing. He's got Cincy 34-17. Tom Brady, the light on the candle is getting dim, dude. All right, Giants at the Commanders. Commanders, I like the coach. I like the setup of the team. I like the way they play. Battle all the time. Commanders, 8 o'clock Sunday night. They win at home, 24-20. Cap, trying to make another game up. He's got the Giants on the road, upsetting the Commanders, 20-17. Final game of the week, Rams, Monday night at Green Bay. I got the Mayfield magic continuing, 27-24. Cap sees it a little different. The only reason he's picking it different is because the Rams are in the Seahawks division, and he wants to give the Seahawks any chance to get into the playoffs. He's got Green Bay winning 31-28. All right, that gets us through the picks. Let's move on to the fantasy football segment.
It's time for fantasy football talk to see which teams can walk the walk. Each week, new matchups take place. All teams gunning for first place. Set your lineups, hope for the best. Your team might be good, but mine's the best. Make trades along the way. Ain't gonna help you, you might wanna pray. To be the best, you gotta beat the deal. Lots of luck, cause my team's for real. Let's get to the segment, start the chat. Hey, Book, what you say about that?
It's Captain Booth, and I'm running on the field like a wild one. Fantasy strategy that is second to none. I'm casting spells like a mad magician. I make so many damn moves, just like a mathematician. Without my fantasy logic, you'll just be hoping and wishing. And if you don't pay attention, your team will need a mortician. So check out Captain Booth and how I lay down my roster. I'm so dialed there could never be an imposter. With this fantasy ball, this segment's for y'all. So don't miss our calls for your fantasy brawl. Captain Booth can beat goals, so avoid the wreck. For your fantasy success, put our knowledge on deck. It's the fantasy segment. Get in.
All right, we are going to get in. We're into the playoffs. New Haven Naturals and Smells What's Cooking, they had a bye week. The Crimson Knights, the number 5 seed, they took on the number 4 seed, Axis Lord. This was a back and forth, low-scoring game, but the higher seed, Axis Lord, prevailed 90-72, eliminating the Crimson Knights. Connecticut, G Hockey, had a great year. Number 3 seed, taking on Cap's team, the number 6 seed. G Hockey was the favorite in it based on his seed, but the Monsterizers, they smoked G Hockey 134-73 and advanced to the next round. So the next matchups are the Emerald Nation Monsterizers taking on the New Haven Mackerels, because they've never been naturals. And Access Lord continuing his vision to get to the finals, trying to beat Smells What's Cooking, who has lost to nobody but the real deal. By the way, twice. All right, let's see what happens next week. That concludes the fantasy football segment. lyrics I know you'll like. The league is now on alert. The real deal is bringing the hurt. New challengers every season. Why worry? There is no reason. Teams might win some games. At the end of the day, I forget their name. A new season and more pretenders. New Haven Naturals is the lead offender. Like all the others who come to town, this dude is just another clown. Over the years, I put to rest any questions that I'm the best.
Whose team is the best? I'm Captain Book, and I'm the coach. And on the fantasy field, we'll never choke. Keep testing my crew, and you'll lose hope. You see, the Emerald Nation Monster Riders are no joke. And here's the note to the rest of the league. When dealing with trauma, you gotta stop the bleed. So here's a warning to all teams. Brace. This is Captain Book, and this is my place. So as we close out another nice section, perhaps next week, your team will be flexed, and we're having fun, and we hope you are too. This is the Captain and the Real Deal Fantasy Season 2.
It's a podcast built to last. The podcast, we're having a blast. It's a podcast built to last. The podcast, we're having a blast. Normally I'm bound on the wheels of steel, but the time has come to drop the field. Be Gold is a name that I spin under, but the real deal's a guy who brings the thunder. Back in the day, it was 5 minutes of funk. The deal's on the mic, he ain't no punk. It's cool when I see you break to the beat. As Eric Beek stated, don't sweat the technique. My lyrics will stand the test of time. Working the crowd with my rhyme. Now it's time to get to the show. Bringing the info so you know it's a podcast built to last. The podcast, we're having a blast. It's a podcast built to last. The podcast, we're having a blast. If you want history, check 1 and 2. All the episodes have something new. From the front to the back or the bottom to the top. The episodes deliver from the knowledge we drop. The cap is the rhyme and I am the rhythm. Like the defense, we are gonna hit them. With the fun facts and the Skol jam. The real deal will continue to rant. Cap brings Hawks news to the show. Never losing sight, keeping the flow. The blue and the emerald green. Cat will tell you who's on the scene. Delivering hits on game day. The bam bam moment for today. It's the podcast built to last. The podcast, we're having a blast. Another episode is in the books. Keeping it real with the hooks. Tune in again later next week to hear more from the streets. Bringing the news for our teams. Nothing's off limit, so it seems. Thanks for hanging, checking us out. We'll be back, there is no doubt. Scolders, 12s, and all you football fanatics, thank you so much for tuning in today for the Skol Line edition of the Captain and the Real Deal podcast. I miss my partner. I want to thank Bizarro Vuk for filling in today. Not much, dude. You got to break a little bit more next time, but you did give me a few breaks here, to fill up the solo cup. So I definitely appreciate that. Anyway, you's out there, tell your friends, your families, and your coworkers about the show. Have them tune in, subscribe, follow the show. We're getting some good feedback. People really digging the fun facts. So if you have any fun facts for us, let us know. Next week, the Cap will be back. We'll get back to our usual routine. But I just want to let everybody know, thank you for tuning in today. I'm going to the game, bringing the real deal. We're going to sit down with Bud. He might have to talk to O'Connell. We got to seal the deal under the division. Had fun today. Top Gun, you're the best. You made this happen. Talk soon.